Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I am trying products from a brand that I only have ever had one product previously from. The brand is Rituel de Fille. So the one product I have been forever in love with and I've had for a while is their Color Nectar Pigment Balm, and I have the shade Blood Flower. It's a beautiful, like you can see there's like a heavy divot in this pan. I love this. It's a beautiful cream product. You can use it anywhere on the face. I love it on the lips and cheeks. What really inspired this purchase from the brand was this. This is their new 3-drop weightless serum foundation. This is supposed to give you beautiful coverage, like perfected looks with 3 drops of product. While I was there, I decided to pick up some other products that are kind of well spoken about, people really tend to love, but are not new. So I am gonna start with this. This is one of those cool products. It has a little sticker on the bottom that says press me, where you can press here and it like distributes drops. It comes in this little packaging like this, and I don't know that if you just wait, I think it would drop on its own. But let's just see what 1 drop looks like. I mean, look at that. That's a lot of pigment, and this is the wrong shade. Oh, nuts. Okay, well, I'm just going to continue to blend it out here. I see, obviously, that this is too fair. Ah, that's kind of a bummer. But do you see how, like, right in through here where the bulk of it is, I didn't get as much of it over here. I feel like it really does get rid of the freckling on the back of my hand compared to my other hand. It's not like it's completely gone, but it really does reduce the look of pigment, and it does give a really nice look overall. Here's what part of me is like, is this a good idea? I'm gonna put 3 drops, 1, 2, 3, on my palette. That's really not a lot of product, but it's probably more than enough. I forgot to put on my under eye corrector. I was just about ready to start slapping stuff on my face. I always use an under eye corrector. I use the one from Beauty Pie, so I'm going to use that today. I'm going to finish blending it out. We'll come right back to the foundation. I have a little bit of it on my finger. I'm going to start here, kind of towards the center of my face, and then start to blend out. Oh, man, I wish I had picked up the right shade. This might, I don't know, maybe it's a bold statement, but I was thinking this might work for me in winter time. I don't try to spend time out in the sun in the summer, but it's inevitable. I live in a very hot part of the state of Washington. It's more than 100 degrees outside right now. And I know that even though I wear SPF 40 or SPF 50 daily, inevitably I catch some sun and I get just a hair darker. I don't know if this would work in the winter time. Do you see how Casper the Ghost or Elizabeth I I am compared to without? The thing is though, I think it's a really good way to see the sort of coverage that you get. I'm gonna take a damp sponge. I feel like I'm seeing some fingertip marks in here, and I wanna make sure I really press this in so you can get a good idea of what the coverage is like. I'm surprised this shade is as fair as it is. I guess that's a good thing. Sometimes there are some brands that don't have a shade fair enough for me and I can't wear them, or the undertone is wrong. I feel like overall this undertone is okay. It does look very neutral, but it is a little too fair. I wonder what would happen if I mix it with one of my foundations that's too dark, but let's not do that today, just because I want to see how this foundation wears on its own without concocting it with something else. So I still have a pretty significant amount on my palette. I'm going to keep going applying this on the other side of my face, but I do like the coverage that I'm getting. Let's just start. Like, they're not lying. 3 drops, you're getting some really beautiful coverage. I look a mess. We'll get there. We'll get there. I always feel like the middle of the makeup application process is kind of like, wait, what happened? Who thought this was a good idea? And then somehow it always kind of pulls together. Well, most of the time. This is what the foundation looks like. If I'm looking at it up close, I do feel like, although the coverage is really pretty, I am seeing just a little bit. It might be hard to see on camera, but looking at it up close with the mirror, I feel like right here where I have texture, a little bit of it is kind of catching in what may potentially be dry patches. And I don't know if I can press it out, if it's not working well with the corrector I put down first. I also feel like the corners of my nose are a particularly tricky spot for it. And I do have a little bit of it settling like right here in the corners of my mouth, where the older I get, the more prominent those lines are. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. I just wish I had the right shade. And looking at their shade range, I'm kind of not sure what that is. Let's completely ignore the fact that this does not match this. My goal is always to have a seamless shade from here down. I can bronze it up, I can put some blush on, but when there is such a difference in light to dark, or you know, light to dark, I don't really like the way that looks. My goal is always to have something seamless, because I don't like, especially any time of the year, but especially in the summer with like jewelry and V-necks, I don't want to take my foundation down and so I match completely, because that just gets foundation on everything. But aside from the shade match, this feels really nice on the skin. My skin was really well hydrated. I had not only hydrating essences, but a hydrating SPF on there. I'm not wearing a lot of skincare today, but my skin feels very, not like oily or greasy, but it feels very plush and hydrated. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that this is a serum foundation. It doesn't feel dry at all. And I feel like, other than those, you know, a couple of places where I feel like, you know, maybe it's catching on maybe some dry spots on my face, I feel like it is doing pretty good. I'm gonna put on some concealer, powder, eyebrows, and I'll be right back. There is one product I have been so curious about for years, and I've never purchased one because they're $39 a piece. And it's an eyeshadow single. This is their Eye Soot. I picked up the shade Half Light. And this looked like a perfect one and done everyday shade. I haven't actually, oh, look at that. This is so pretty. All right, so this formula is kind of like a pressed pigment. Oh yeah, this is gonna be nice. The other thing that I did, and I love that they offer this on their website when you're purchasing directly from the brand, they give you the option for $15 to get samples. You can either get 3 samples of their new foundation, 3 samples of different shades of their previous cream foundation / concealer, or you can try any of the rest of their color products. Instead of getting 3 samples, you can get 5. And that's what I did. So I got 3 more Eye Soot shades and I got a couple of highlights, but let me swatch the rest of the Eye Soots that I picked up so that you can see what they look like. These have a really pretty soft, subtle shine to them. They are not ridiculously sparkly. I am fine with that. This is the one that I purchased in the full size. This one is Half Light. This right here is a sample of Sigil. This is a sample of Incantation. And this last one here is Anima. But I love these kind of warmer, but what would be an easy one and done eyeshadow. The other thing that I really like is I feel like if you're looking at it, it's up to here, you get a pretty decent amount of product. It's nowhere near the amount that you'd get in like one of these full-size pots. And by the way, they redesigned their pots. The other ones used to be taller and narrower openings, so it was hard to get a finger in. And a lot of people like using this by like, you know, swiping their finger in and doing this. But you can also use a brush. I think I'm gonna probably go for brushes today, but I'm super excited to see what these look like on the eye. I'm gonna take the lightest one in Sigil, and I'm just gonna load my brush up with some of this. I wonder if this would do better if I wasn't using a natural hair brush. Maybe what I need is something less fluffy and more compact, because I feel like I'm not getting a lot of payoff. Oh, there we go. Much better. All right, so I feel like a more dense brush is going to pick this product up better if you wanted to use a brush to blend with. I like the way that this looks. This is the lightest shade in Sigil. I'm just gonna put this all over the eyelid on both eyes. I'm also taking this kind of light pinky shade called Anima, and I'm gonna run it kind of right here. I know these all have a little bit of shimmer to them. I'm fine with that. I don't mind that I'm putting shimmer in the crease. I don't feel like it's super glittery, but it's more of like a soft shine, but I want just a little bit of depth here. I think all of these would be lovely as a one and done shadow. Now I'm gonna reach into this shade in Half Light, and I'm gonna use this to kind of give myself a little bit more depth right here on the outside edge. Where these blend so easily. Whatever I have left on my brush, I am just going to take down here and kind of blend upwards and outwards. So I finished up the eyes with liquid eyeliner and mascara, and I did throw just a touch of cream bronze on. I had a little bit of contour on before, but I put a little bit of warmth on to help make the transition from here to here maybe a little bit less noticeable. But let's finish this look up. I need a little bit more color on the cheeks. And I picked up a different type of blush. I did have the Color Nectar Pigment Balm, which is a little bit more sheer. And this right here is the Inner Glow Cream Pigment. This is a little bit cooler. This is the shade Desire. I'm like, I haven't even put my finger in it. I'm like, I can't wait. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, first of all, let's just do this. You know, I have some dry crusties on my lips. I just realized my lips are pretty dry. I have the new e.l.f. lip scrub. Hoping this is just gonna take off any flakies. Going back to this is the shade Desire. And the great thing about these products from Rituel de Fille is you can use them anywhere on the face. That's pretty. I'm going to pick up a little bit on my fingers here. I'm going to tap off any excess on the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to give myself a little bit of blush. I purposefully picked this because it was on the cooler side and it wasn't quite so warm. But I like that this is not too slippy and it blends super easily. Wow. Okay. I also picked up one of their highlights. This is the Rare Light Cream Luminizer in the shade Phosphine. Oh, that's really pretty. Let's see what this looks like tapped over the top. Maybe I should just use this little guy mirror. This little mirror might be a little easier. I feel like on their website, the models have like a giant swath of this on their face. It's just really, really glowy. So here's Phosphines, this is Solar Light, and this is Spectre. Spectre I feel has a little bit of a cooler lean to it. This tends to look a little bit more champagne, and this definitely has more of a pink lean to it. Part of me is really interested to see what Solar Light is gonna look like, kind of tapped like maybe right here. I've been trying to figure out, and it's really hard to pick a highlight shade online. I don't know, I feel like it's almost as difficult to pick a highlight shade as it is to pick foundation concealer shades. Because if you get the wrong base and it's too deep, especially for someone like me who's fair, all you can see is how much darker it is than my natural skin tone. And these guys, oh, I love the way these look on the skin. They're really pretty, they're really glowy, but I don't feel like either one of these are too dark. And I feel like all of these, this one here, this one probably is the best one. I'm not mad at this though. This is the one I have in the full size. This is one I probably should pick up, but I feel like I saw more kind of like a peachy or red lean to it online, and this one definitely looked a little bit more blue. So just to give it a little bit more warmth, I added a little bit of the Color Nectar Pigment Balm in Bloodflower, kind of right to the center of the lips. I was feeling just a little bit gray, but I like that these are so easy to mix together. They feel really good on the skin. I think that I really like where I landed. I feel like even though this is the wrong shade, I think I can make it work. I think this might be easier for me to use after I hit like November, because like September or October, I'll definitely be a little bit lighter than this. But by the time November comes around, I've been out of the sun enough that there's definite like overall paleness to my skin. I always try and wear SPF and I stay out of the sun, but inevitably the older I get, the more obvious it is when summertime is around. I'm really intrigued to see how long this lasts, because 3 drops really is all you need, and you get so much pigment from 1 drop. If you're interested in this, I would recommend going to their website and spending the $15 to try 3 samples. First of all, they're going to give you like a variety of shades that you think are going to work best for you. You can even do an online consultation with them, send them photos and be like, this is what we suggest. And then they're going to give you a $10 coupon if you buy within, I think, 60 or 90 days. It's going to go towards the purchase of this. So it's really only $5 for the samples, which I think is like a great way to try, especially a new foundation that's from a more boutique brand. What I'm really loving, oh my goodness, these eye soots are fantastic, and I am so glad I decided to get like the little sample set. I have 3 to play with, plus the one that I got. And along with that, I got like 2 little samples of the cream highlights. These are super interesting to me, and I like how this look is very light, slightly shimmery, but not glittery. It looks very elevated and elegant. I really could see myself picking up more of their blushes. I guess they're really cream face pigments, but they're Inner Glow pigment. The one that I'm wearing on my cheeks today, something maybe a little bit warmer, something maybe a little bit rosier. And I could definitely see myself picking up more of their cream highlights because, I mean, look at this. I don't really feel like I'm getting any additional texture. It is hitting a little bit here where I have some larger pores. And even though I do have crow's feet through here, I don't feel like it's just like really accentuating my texture. Some highlights, especially powder highlights, can be like really cruel in this area to me, and I feel this just sits beautifully on the skin. I'm 48 years old, and I'm always trying to have the look of beautiful skin without increasing the texture. And I know that this area is a problem area for me because I do have the crow's feet. My pores are just a little bit larger, but I feel like these products here are just stunning. Now, I know this is not a brand that everybody talks about. It's kind of like a boutique brand. A lot of these products are made in small batches by hand in Los Angeles and shipped out to you fresh. I really like that aspect of it, but I would love to know, are you familiar with the brand? Have you tried things from them? What is your recommendation? I know they have lipsticks, but as I was looking through, nothing really called to me. When you have as many lipsticks as I do, and I'm looking around, there's just tons of them. I really need something to kind of reach out and grab me by the lapels and go, you need me. And I just didn't really feel like the formulations and the images that I saw on their website really did that, when I could very easily use something like this, which is what I did, you know, on the lips, to give me the sort of look that I like. I'm gonna list everything down below. Some of them will have links, some of them will not. Some of these don't allow you to, you know, link to them, but that's fine. I'm gonna list everything for you so you know what colors I use. If you're interested or intrigued, check out the description box. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.